What is going on, guys? This is Daniel, and over the summer I took a look at the Knicks Summer League Triangle offense, and that is what you're watching right now. And today I will be taking a look at the good, the bad, and the ugly of the triangle offense I'm seeing right now in preseason. Basically, over the summer, I did a step-by-step detailed breakdown of how the triangle works. So if you haven't seen that video, check that out right now. Today, I'll be breaking down more of how their personnel is fitting with the triangle and also some things the current team needs to work on. Let's start with the good. The first option of the triangle is a pass into the low post, and the two strong side wings will then cut, and here they find Carmelo nicely on a backdoor cut for a dunk. Again, the first option where the ball will go into the post, both players will cut, and remember the strong side forward will then screen for the weak side forward. They execute this nicely here and get Jason Smith a wide open jumper. Here is the second option where the ball is passed on top. This triggers the weak side forward to flash to the high post, and there will be a down screen for the wing in the corner, here J.R. Smith. Prigioni dribbles towards Smith and executes a dribble handoff to Smith, who's coming off a down screen. This is a great action and it gets an alley-oop. Usually what you'll see from the second option is the guard on top passing it to the forward at the high post, which Hardaway Jr. does here. He then cuts around to Melo, and here he receives it back and hits a nice floater. Same second option here, and when Hardaway doesn't receive the handoff back, look at what Melo has. A guard that just cut off of him, a guard that just came off a down screen, all while he's at the high post, a deadly spot, and he can isolate and score. Same exact sequence here, except it's Amare who plays that high post position, and here he takes advantage and makes a jumper. This time, out of the second option, Smith will pretty much dribble at Prigioni and let him take the guard on top position, and this is what I really want to see. Amari catching it and not settling for a jumper, but attacking Nene off the dribble and drawing a foul. Once again, the second option, and Melo is playing the high post, and when he receives the pass, he this time decides to execute a dribble handoff with Shane Larkin, who just came off a down screen. Again, this is great action, and Larkin can drive and score. On the second option, once Prigioni doesn't receive the handoff, him and Cole Aldridge immediately flow into a fluid screen and roll, and while Aldridge doesn't finish, Stoudemire can get a putback. Similar sequence here as on the second option, Prigioni and Aldridge will flow into a two-man game, and Prigioni nicely finds Stoudemire, who gets fouled. Knicks fans, you'll be seeing this a lot, the second option, and off of this they'll flow into a screen and roll, and here Prigioni can find Early, who just came off a down screen, and he hits a three. And of course, in the second option, if the guard on top is open right away for a three because of bad defense, he can take that shot, and here Shumpert takes advantage. Moving on to the third option, which is where the weak side forward will flash to the high post, and when he receives the pass, that triggers the guard on top to cut back door. If that's not available, they'll often flow into a screen and roll, and here Cole Aldridge finishes. Now let's move on to the bad. Here in the first option, the Knicks pass it inside to Jason Smith, but he's not a great post player, and he's forced to take a tough shot. Samuel Dalembert isn't either. He catches it inside, but on that block, there's nothing he can really do. He's forced to pass it out, and Gortat can help off of him, forcing a jumper. On offense at times, the Knicks may need to put Melo or Stoudemire at the center position because Dalembert isn't cutting it. He passes it out and later takes a tough jumper. What's the point of running the first option if your center is just going to pass it out and the offense is going to stall? Aldridge isn't the answer either, and here the Knicks are bailed out by a tough J.R. Smith shot. Earlier we saw Melo score off this backdoor cut, but here Stoudemire forces it and they turn it over. Miscommunication this time as Melo feels like he's being overplayed, so he's going to backdoor, but Hardaway's expecting him to simply flash to the high post. He's already about to pass it, and he does pass it to the spot, and they turn it over. Here when Smith passes it to Stoudemire at the high post, he'll cut around him, and Stoudemire tries to force a pass to him, and they turn it over. And this is a big no-no and a common mistake. Getting the handoff, Shumpert should see the driving lane is blocked, so he and Stoudemire should execute a screen and roll. Instead, he takes an inefficient tough jumper. This time it's Hardaway who commits the same mistake. Here they'll execute the third option where they'll pass it to the weak side forward, but look how Gortat is guarding D'Alembert, clogging the lane and preventing a pass to Melo, and he'll gladly give up a D'Alembert jumper. Here is the fourth option, which they didn't run much, where the pass will go to the corner and they'll flow into a screen and roll, but off of this it goes back to D'Alembert, and while he does a nice job creating here, he still can't finish. You may ask why that's in the bad because they got a good shot. Well, they had D'Alembert creating, and you just can't rely on him creating offense. Now moving on to the ugly. Okay, so off the second option, notice how Melo is being denied, and they would usually try to go back door, but because of the poor perimeter shooters on the weak side, Gortat and Nene can clog the lane. Now, Hardaway does a nice job getting it to D'Alembert, but Melo is being denied, so he should try to seal his man to try to get a pass. This doesn't even cross his mind, and then when Melo has it at the high post, the whole offense stalls, horrible spacing, and all that leads to a turnover and a very ugly possession. Notice how it's second option, pinch post, but when J.R. Smith passes it to Stoudemire, he should cut around him. Instead he tries to set an awkward screen, and that brings his man, who promptly steals it from Stoudemire. The Knicks here form their triangle, but J.R. Smith has to recognize he can pass it to any of the four players to start any of the four options. And it's obvious here Shumpert's on top is clearly the most open, but instead he tries to force it into Stoudemire. They fortunately get it back, but they eventually turn it over anyways. Well, there you have it, guys. From what I've seen so far, it's a mixed bag and it's pretty inconsistent, but in the preseason of the first year it's being implemented, that's to be expected. There are certain tweaks like not forcing passes that are simple to fix, but others, such as your center not being a good post player, that may be harder to fix. Also, I try to give you guys the content you want to see, and to help me with that, please vote in the poll below in the description. Basically, it'll be asking what type of my videos do you prefer, and regardless of the response, I'll still give a variety, but I want to know what type of videos my audience prefers so I can give you guys what you want. Well, thanks for watching and see you next time.